Hello and welcome to the Blue Monday podcast. This is a 3 times weekly show looking into the exciting, dramatic happenings of Ipswich Town Football Club, available on video and podcast. My name is Benjamin Bloom. I'll be here each and every Monday for this, the flagship show, with ITFC aficionado David Diamond for a sometimes irreverent, always informative hour of football conversation. Make your Monday a Blue Monday. Dave, nothing much has happened. See you next week.
Yeah, pretty boring old week, really, wasn't it? Really, especially for you. You didn't really get up to much at all, did you?
No, it's been
never off YouTube, mate.
Oh no, it's
more
annoying,
YouTube hits than Justin Bieber. No, Bieber.
It's awful. We need to go to Barnsley first, Dave. There's not much news, items this week, but
yeah,
the only one we spoke about was Barnsley's appointment of a new manager.
Yeah, one Jose Moraes, who was previously worked with Mourinho in Real Madrid and Chelsea. Must admit, I've never really heard of him. 52. I assume he's Portuguese. I assume he is. And they've appointed him on an 18-month contract, so that sort of really knocks the speculation over Mick, I guess, in the head for now. Apparently, they made overtures to Jack Ross, who's St Mirren manager, and also Gareth Ainsworth from Wickham, who's very up and coming, doing brilliant at Wickham on
likes
really
to play
no
his
money
acoustic guitar, doesn't he?
Yeah, lad, and also he's still got Akinfenwa up front, which you've got to love, and got to love that as well. So yeah, 18 months. Obviously, we said last week they got new owners. That probably knocks Mick on the head for now.
Don't you think it's lame when clubs just appoint guys who have just worked with Mourinho or say Klopp?
Time will tell, really. I mean, if you put it like that, Huddersfield did okay with.
It was a Norwich dig. It was the first one of the podcast. Did we have a game this week?
This week.
There wasn't a game yesterday,
today?
Was there?
Did we play today?
Oh, we're gonna go to Norwich. It's the East Anglian Derby.
Yeah, I think. Hang on. Before, can we talk? We must say. We must do it now. Can we talk about your appearance on the Talk Norwich City podcast, or would you rather not? Or have you got anything to say about that?
What do you want to know?
I want to know. Were you? I thought you sort of handled yourself with great dignity, Ben,
Thank
in
you.
the face of intense provocation. I thought from the guy on your left, as we were looking.
Chris Reeve, not Jack Reeve.
Yeah. Enjoyed it.
You're right.
I know you did a preview with Jack Reeve before the home game, didn't you?
We did, yeah.
How was it?
That was always the plan. Well, obviously it caused a bit of a storm on YouTube and online, mainly against Chris, who was playing the role of the bantery football.
It was very much. I mean, obviously it's Jack's show. It was very much bad cop, good cop, wasn't it, type of thing?
It was. I think what happened is, and I think Chris would admit this, he slightly misread the tone, given that I'm not really a bantery football. I'm a facts and figures guy, aren't I?
Chilled out entertainer.
The humour.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I think he slightly misread it. I think some of the comments he got were a little unfair. I think he really got battered on. I mean, thank you to everyone on YouTube for giving me lots of praise anyway, because
someone like me looking in, he was very much sort of played the role of the, how would you put it, pantomime villain, really, didn't he?
The problem with the pantomime villain is if the other person is completely no-selling everything they say. Yeah. They come across as their horse's arse, don't they?
Yeah, I thought you were great, and I thought your most admirable restraint was when he said that at this moment, I'm sure that's what he said, at this moment that Maddison was better than Jack Wilshere.
We did go into that a bit on the actual Blue Monday show on Friday, and I think he might have got a bit stitched up. But I think they're going to be in touch tomorrow, so I may go back on there tomorrow. But yeah.
Anyway, good stuff. No, it's good. You came across well, mate, and you did play it quite well, I thought. Yeah, it's a pretty slick. You got to say that Jack, he's got a good little thing going there, hasn't he, with the sponsorship and everything else.
Someone called me a veteran podcaster. That's why I didn't call it a veteran.
A veteran.
Anyway,
okay.
Dave, we're going to have to do this, aren't we?
Let's go.
It was the East Anglian Derby. I
Notes.
should say a number here, shouldn't I? They should make up a number. The 117th East Anglian Derby. Is that anywhere near?
What was it last week? We said last week it was at 43, 41, and 20, was it? So yeah,
not far out.
104th, 105th. I think
Yeah.
I got that roundabout right. Yeah.
Okay, so Norwich lined up as we pretty much expected them to. Jack was suggesting whether Pinto might come back in at right back, but otherwise he got that all correct. So it was Gunn in goal, Zimmerman, Hanley, Closer, the centre halves. So Reed, centre midfielder, stayed at right wing back. Lewis, the young guy, impressive young player, left wing back. Tetty and Leitner sitting in midfield. Madison.
Who?
Madison, the kind of free guy in central midfield with Murphy and Oliveira up front. And Dave, I had an inkling. I said this is not going to happen. I just had.
We spoke on the way up, didn't we? We spoke this morning. You were starting out. I think you're somewhere on the M11, and we spoke. And I said, and I think we both said, Christ, if he starts with like Connolly, Gleeson, and Skews, and it doesn't come off, he is going to absolute pelters.
Well, that's even the secondary team news, because it was 3 at the back, which I just remembered Jack saying on his podcast that Daniel Farke wanted to start the season 3 at the back, but didn't have the gumption to stick with it and has gone back there now. Well, Mick McAfee started the season with 3 at the back, and
he certainly did.
I've got a sneaking feeling he might end the season with 3 at the back as well. But we'll talk about.
And on today's evidence, although I don't think, it's a bit of a spoiler alert, I don't think Norwich were particularly strong up front. I think it's probably not that bad a shout, but anyway.
Yeah. So it was Bart in goal. Chambers was in the middle of the 3, as you'd expect. Carter Vickers to his right, Webster to his left. Iorfa.
You surprised about that?
I was surprised to see him back in the team, but when you realise it's wing backs, you probably would have him over Spence, wouldn't you?
Ben.
Yeah. So Spence misses out. You know, with Mick though, when someone's going to miss out, it's usually Spence, Ward, or Sears, isn't it?
Pretty much. Poor old Freddie missed out altogether.
Didn't he? Altogether. Now Knudsen left wing back. So Skews was the deeper of the 3 midfielders, with Connolly and Gleeson running around. Although I would categorise those 3 as Skews sitting, Connolly running, and Gleeson passing. I think was the general method to mix madness. And Waghorn and Garner up front. A lot of people always complain in the 4-2-3-1 that Garner's there on his own. So 2 up front. Thoughts on the 3-5-2 then, Dave?
Well, he just matched up, didn't he? Yes, it did surprise me. It certainly surprised me from to have the 3 in midfield like we spoke about earlier. And I think the general consensus was, at least if McGoldrick's not going to play, all right, we'll get on to him, but at least let Selena loose, or maybe not Carriol, but certainly Selena. Let's look like we're going to have a go. But I've got to say, as the game started to pan out, particularly in the first half, tactically, I think he was spot on.
And just in the interest of balance, which we're always interested in, those people who phone up Radio Suffolk every week and whine that McGoldrick's played out on the right and Waghorn here, well, you can't moan about 3 at the back and because that's solved that. No,
you can't have
it. You get 2. You can't have it both ways, can you?
No,
well, unless you get straight 4-4-2, which wasn't going to happen today. If you start well, Dave, early corner, Waghorn gets cleared, doesn't clear the first man, makes a mess of the follow-up. Nice chance here, a throw-in taken quickly, and Gleeson, who's actually a good crosser, I realised today, put a few good balls in. He puts the cross in, and that Derby Day hero.
Hey, it was almost carbon copy, wasn't it? Almost carbon copy. Yeah, he just sort of gets odd one. He sort of gets underneath it, sort of mistimes it slightly. He just doesn't direct it. But I think that was a decent chance.
And we've managed to not say Jonas Knudsen's name in describing that, so that was Knudsen who headed that one over. Giveaway from Norwich this amused me quite a bit. They started off splitting the centre backs and trying short goal kicks and gave up on that pretty quickly. But they gave it away. Waghorn picks it up in the end and gets a fairly weak shot, but Gunn spilled it. I thought he looked ever so nervous, Gunn, after that goal kick.
Man, I saw on TV, he looked ill. my God, he looks like drawn and pale, and maybe I don't know if it was nerves or whatever, but bloody hell, yeah.
Mm.
Is he big guy? Big, looks fairly commanding, tall.
He's not built, but
Slight,
he's very tall. Yeah, very
slight,
tall.
yeah.
Yeah. Weak shot wide from Oliveira on 21. First quarter goes by. Ipswich, much the better team on 31. Maddison free kick quite a way out. Poor cross. 32. Ipswich get a free kick. It's too central for Waghorn to cross it. And did they tap it to the side? Was it indirect? I think they tapped it to the side.
The one
Connolly,
where
did they?
is this the one where Waghorn sort of deflects the wall and Gunn saves sort of near post?
No, that's going to be the next one. This is one that Connolly hits.
Oh no, good hit. Yeah, good hit. Yeah.
And Gunn.
Yeah, I think it bypasses the wall.
Gunn spills it again, and how can I phrase this? Garner ends up on the floor. Shall we go with that? Murphy from the second phase from a goal kick, poor right footer, so nothing doing still for Norwich. Waghorn, yeah, as you just described, Dave, you can take this free kick.
Yeah, I don't think it's ball that I think skews. I think taps the ball sideways to Waghorn, who's about 22, 23 yards. Good strike, even deflects off the wall. Still a good strike. It's got a lot of power in it, but Gunn sort of gets down pretty well to his left, covers it well actually, and just pushes it out. What I would say is, and I know you thought, well, you must have seen most of this because this had been right in front of you in the first half. Waghorn's deliveries were awful first half. Just couldn't get by the first man.
Can we hold that topic for the end? Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And can I defer to you for this because you probably saw about 10 replays of it. I offer good run. Gets past Lewis.
No, I don't think it's a dive. I just think he goes between the players and his momentum just takes him over. You know, he just stumbles over. I don't, and I think the ref was right not to give it. It certainly wasn't. There was no contact, not a penalty. He just lost his foot, and I don't see a yellow there.
It can be
got
neither.
That right.
Your half-time analysis then, Dave.
We're on top, aren't we? Technically, it's worked, but I think the shot you described, the little dribbler, P-roller from Oliveira from about 20 yards, that's the only shot they had. Madison's free kick from wide, which just drifted out.
Murphy curled one.
Superb. Looked like Skews was not quite man-to-man on Madison, but Madison, I thought first half was quite deep. Skews was playing him really well. Yeah. Superb. Wing-backs were great. Well, certainly I thought first half, so best player. Getting forward well.
We didn't pass through, but the way he used the wing-backs well is they realised quite quickly that Lewis isn't a big guy, so Garner and Iorfa went and played on Lewis. And
good play. I thought that Lewis it stuck to his calls really well.
Player, isn't he?
He's going to be a good player.
But Dave, I haven't got a problem with direct football when it's deliberate as you're getting a wing back forward with a tall striker. I've got no problem with that at all.
All right, we didn't score, but yes, it was direct, but it was certainly, you cannot deny it as our half. All right, I think someone said, but I didn't check, someone said possession at half time, Norwich had 60%, which surprised me to a degree. But yeah, when they got hold of the ball, there was little tippy-tappy passes and stuff. But no, I thought tactically spot on. Great first half. Only thing missing was a goal. No clear-cut. Knudson's clear-cut chance, maybe not. No clear-cut chances, but certainly we were well on top.
Okay. Into the second half. Different story now. Maddison gets the first of a couple of free kicks on the edge of the box. Takes it right-footed. Bart, does he get a bit of the crossbar as well, Dave?
Yeah, he pushes it out. Bart gets up, pushes it, just hits it. Yeah, it's not going in. Pushes, hits it. Well, it was going in. Hits the top of the crossbar and hits the top of the crossbar and out. I mean, my take on certainly the early part of the second half was that Maddison was playing 5-10 yards further forward. How I saw it,
and 5-10 feet quicker as well. Well, we'll talk about him at the end.
I mean, I think they obviously got a big balling out at half time, no doubt. I think, and yeah, they certainly came out sharper.
I like they caused a bit of chaos from the next corner as well. I like what they do on the corners. They really spread out and they're all on the move. And the Ipswich players were a little bit, oh, what the hell's... That's quite innovative. When the second ball goes in from Reed, I thought that Closer was offside, but linesman didn't flag.
Oh, is this the one where he's like 2 yards out and he just doesn't
connect,
doesn't make it. Hell of a chance. That was a hell of a chance, actually.
It was. Garner takes a yellow for a foul on Maddison. Then Leitner takes a yellow for a nice little professional foul on Knudsen. And then Dave, on 60, red card anxiety, Joe Garner is substituted for David McGoldrick. What are your views on that?
Yeah, no, I think exactly what you said. Red card anxiety didn't surprise me. I don't think he looked injured particularly, but you could see that was the sort of game. And as the game goes on, crowd there, big crowd, atmosphere building. Yeah, you could see. I know he hasn't, and you've always said he's quite clever. He'll never quite.
I don't think we'll ever see him get sent off.
No. I think perhaps you're right, but in a game like that, a late challenge, he's been booked.
Mick made his mind up for him.
Yeah, and I've got no problem with that. Yeah, I don't know, and me and you both, big McGoldrick fans, but would I then perhaps just thrown on Selena to perhaps stretch them a bit more?
With hindsight, yes, you would have. If you're Mick McAfee, you're never going to put Selena on ahead of McGoldrick.
Oh, well, yeah, good point.
You're going to trust your young lone maverick or your old trusted maverick. You're going to always go for the older one, aren't you? Mixed up with Chambers and Webster kind of going for the same ball. Madison follows in, nice dribble, drives it over. So you can see they're sharing these fouls out. It's a bit naughty. Skews now takes a yellow for a foul on Madison. Luke Hyam comes on for Stephen Gleeson, much to my stress, but actually didn't do badly, did he, when he came on? He
didn't. Did he not lose Madison straight away, though? I'm sure there was.
I'll bow to you. I didn't spot that.
He did.
I was probably too busy having palpitations about his imminent red card.
Led to the second Madison free kick.
Oh, okay. So Connolly takes a yellow for lovely dribble by Madison. Free kick's a bit closer in, and another good save, Dave.
Yeah, that was a good save. Again, Madison's so good. It wasn't right in the corner. In fact, I was saying to my lads, perhaps both those free kicks were sounds a bit mad, but too close to get really up and down with.
He moved that one back as well. So he agrees with you. Yeah, he moved that back about. It was right on the edge of the box, and he moved.
Yeah, no, too close. So I'd say his distance 25. Yeah, you'd have been. It sounds ridiculous. Further out, you'd perhaps been a bit more worried because he'd have got it up and down. But again, very good.
Norwich managed to overload the left here. Lovely back heel by Murphy. Oliveira goes across the line from left to right. Good save again.
Oh, that is a great save. You look at that one. Have you seen that one?
Only in real time, and it looked great.
Oh no, mate, honestly, because it bounces right in front of him, and it's right in the corner, and he just gets his big right paw on it. Fantastic save. Yeah, that was the best of the lot. That one.
I love how you're setting up this narrative, Dave. And then Dave, the substitution heard around the world on 78 minutes. I offer out and Spence in the third substitution, greeted with the fable chant, Mick McAfee, your football is shit.
SH1T. Yeah, but look, you hear his interview afterwards, and he said, I offer, and who hasn't been playing recently, hasn't been getting any game time at all recently, was absolutely, his race had been run, so to speak. So he was gone. So stat of the week. He was gone, and yeah, and Spence. So like for like, I haven't got a problem with that. If he says, I offer, 10 minutes to go, he's struggling. Apparently he said his hamstring was tightening up, something like that. I haven't got a problem, but then you can see how the fans would react to that, given, as I said earlier, Spence's fairly average display against Burton last week. I do see that. I can't quite get that. I don't see that as. But what did they want? I offered to go off and Selena on. I don't quite get it.
I don't know. Let's go to that at the end. Yeah.
All right.
Too many narratives in it. Too many narratives.
Where does it end, for Christ's sake?
Where do I begin? Spence, yellow. Oh, sorry. Waghorn, yellow on close. That was a naughty one, wasn't it? He knew that one as well.
What was that? What was our? Oh, go on, carry on, because I wonder what our final yellow, because I think there's one more
must
to come.
Be 6, mustn't it?
5, 6, that's a fine, isn't it?
That sounds like a fine to me. Another fine mess. Spence yellow on Lewis pretty much immediately. Worked out to Reed on 82. Knudsen slips, which gives Reed the chance to step forward, but it's a poor shot.
Yeah.
Wide by him. Dennis Sabrani makes his debut for Norwich on for Murphy. I thought I counted quite a lot of Norwich fans clapping for Sir Bobby Robson on 85 minutes. Shoot me down if anyone thinks I'm wrong about that, but I had a good look around and I thought I saw people in all three stands clapping. So
yeah, well, we know, aside from Ipswich, I think he's ultimately at the end, his work with England was appreciated as well, wasn't it?
Yeah. McGoldrick gets into the game for once. Good ball out for Knudsen, and his cross Dave, is either well headed out or deflects off someone's head for a corner.
Deflects off Reed, yeah.
Dave, just don't check it. It's the same.
No,
yeah.
I'm not staying. Yeah, deflects off Reed over the bar, and then
we're going to go to the corner, Dave. In the
for
I've
once,
got 88 minutes down here. Was it 89 or 88?
89, I think, by the time everything happened, because it actually started. How the thing developed was a Waghorn free kick wide right,
on the other side.
Once it was his best delivery of the, other than what comes up next. It was for once his best delivery of the day, and certainly on that initial free kick, Webster looked like totally manhandled by I think by Closer, but more of that with Spence and Zimmerman in a minute. But anyway, yeah, the ball's like recycled, and some quite nice play that you just with Connolly and as you say, McGoldrick got on it and released Knudsen. Good ball actually. That was shame. Anyway, good ball in, deflected across, and then he got it out. So an outswinging corner, Waghorn outswinger, and not great defender. Chambers just wanted it, didn't he? Chambers just wanted it more than Tete, I think, was supposed to be picking him up. It was Tete, and powered it in from 6 yards.
Delirium.
Delirium. Some let it go, some don't. Some fairly, it is an obvious manhandling by Spence of Zimmerman when the comes in. Oh yeah, you look again if you see it. Look, but great from Chambers. Just wanted it and in, and you describe it, mayhem, wasn't it?
Absolute mayhem. I don't know. It's just not like a normal game or a normal goal. Obviously, total mayhem. But
where did you sit last season when Knudsen scored in the Ipswich?
I had a really good seat today. I was like in the middle block of the away stand on the aisle as well, so I had a really great seat. Although it was hard to tell because that corner went in so quickly into a crowd. It's hard to tell he'd actually put it in. But I don't know. It's hard for me to describe the feeling because it's not a normal game. You're not all of a sudden immediately disturbed about the thought of someone equalising, but in that instance you were. But up goes the board for 5 minutes, and Farker brings
and I spoke to you earlier about this, and I said 5 minutes, but you, I guess, quite rightly said, well, 6 yellow cards, there was
6 subs,
we made 3 substitutions, there was the goal, so in hindsight it's probably about right, isn't it?
Hernandez for Tete, Vrancic for Reed, but before the unfortunate moment on the 93rd minute, Ipswich have a rather useful looking counter attack. Waghorn starts off in an offside position and waits to come back on, and Knudsen.
But I've got a bit more. I mean, it's good. I mean, so Gunn kicks. It's a poor goal kick. Knudsen does really well in the sort of left back. Nods it forward to McGoldrick. Great, really good play. McGoldrick holds it. Knudsen powers on. You're right. And when he receives a ball, Waghorn, for a first time ball, Waghorn's clearly offside. Takes a touch. Waghorn's on. But again, hindsight, that's a really poor bit of play from at the time. I was really poor from Knudsen. God, it could have been 2-0 there. Could have really sewn it up, but hang on, it's only 30 seconds left. Oh well, never mind. Goes out for a goal kick. I'll take it from there. Gun goal kick. I mean, it's not a cluster, is it? I don't know. Gun goal kick. Webster wins it well in the air. Unfortunately, it goes straight to Maddison. Could have gone to anyone. Goes straight to Maddison. I mean, but again, it's speculative. Can't say it. He's in his own half, knocks the ball on his right foot, just floats it forward. And I think it's Closer that wins the initial header. So that's a pretty decent play. So Closer wins the initial header in front of Knudsen. Here's where it all gets a bit fuzzy. So Webster then thinks, that ball's running out, puts his hand up to claim the goal kick. Then he hesitates, and then he sort of realises by this time that Hanley has stayed up and is making the run to retrieve the ball. Bart comes out. Then he stops initially, and then he comes again when he sees Webster's not going. Oh no, mate! By this time, Hanley's got control of the ball. Webster then reacts, but just not quick enough to block the cross. You have to give it to Hanley, a centre half. All right, is he just putting it in an area? He is just knocking it in an area, but it's good composure. It's probably the best cross of the whole game, other than Waghorn's corner. And Closer, who stays up, just gets a drop on Carter Vickers. Obviously, Bart is poorly positioned because he's made that initial charge out. Sickener, mate. Sickener. No, I thought Sheffield Wednesday was a sickener, but that just paled. The Andre the Giant's equaliser in '94, but that just pales into significance against this.
You just made me relive it again.
And I can't sum it up any different. It's honestly, you got to say yes, it's Bart. And we spoke earlier, and you say, oh, God, if Bart's got to go, he's got to go. I think Bart thinks of going. I think Bart thinks of perhaps not sliding with his hands, but almost sliding in to almost make a tackle. But realise if he gets that wrong, it's a penalty. Webster initially doesn't react. Webster just thinks, oh, that's okay. That's rolling out to no one. That's just going to roll out for a goal kick. And he's like this. Initially, he's put his arm up. Oh, ball ref. By that time, he's too late. Doesn't react. But no, it's a sickener, mate. It's an absolute sickener. And you were there. It felt like a defeat, didn't it?
Yeah. It was just. I mean, that's why I got a drummer friend who doesn't like football, and he once asked me, "Oh, what's with football? What is it?" And I showed him Aguero's goal against QPR when he wins the league. And I said, look at their faces, look at the drama. You can go and see any movie or any show in the theatre, and you just won't see. And this is real. This is not predetermined. This is real. I've got a few things to say. One, my Twitter is full of people saying, why didn't Knudsen run it in the corner? They're the same people that said, why did Sears run it in the corner against Sheffield Wednesday?
Hindsight, you wouldn't run it. It was a bad ball. The ball, he would not run that ball in the corner. It's the ball to play.
Dave,
he gets it wrong.
Do you subscribe to my theory? If it had been 0-0, he would have converted that pass. I think he was just panicky because we just scored.
Well, a bit excited, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, you might be right.
I think if it had been 0-0, right. he would have made that pass. He would have been Dave. He would have been more. He would have been more focused. I think
you're probably right, and I think, ironically, the cross he put in which ultimately led to the goal, the Reed deflection over the bar, he put that in with pace. That was, do you know what I mean? He actually meant that. This one, he just put in. You're right, bit of panic, a bit airy fairy ball, Well, look, we'll never know. It still should have been prevented. But it's just anything could have happened. He could have, I don't know. Ball could have hit the first defender, and the first defender clears it out from throw-in. Mate, honestly, my
argument is that I don't blame Knudsen. Knudsen cocked up. Yeah, Knudsen cocked up one end. But then, like you said, there's another 3 phases of play after that. And I love Bart. Bart's a great keeper. We love Bart for he plays the game the right way. He's a fair player. He's an honest player. He's a humble guy. Oh. He messed up, the poor guy. And immediately let me finish. Immediately we forgive him. But he messed up. I'm sorry, that header did not go in firmly like Chambers did. If Bart's anywhere in position, he's saving that. The fact that he was running back
in that position
is what cost him. And he should have come and... I mean, I know hindsight's lovely as well. I'd rather have had a penalty, foul Hanley. Do you know what I mean? I know that was what he was afraid of, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was. I just don't know. I mean, people around you must have been what's that?
It was just there was no reaction. It was just stunned. There was no. Normally when a goal goes in, someone's yelling. It was just stunned and very, very hard to process. But I don't want to use these words. That's football. That's why we go, because you get drama.
Saw it today, but okay, not quite last minute. And well, spoiler alert: Bristol City 3-0 up against Sunderland last week. 3 goals in the last 20 minutes. 2-0 up at Leeds today. 2 goals in the last 70 and 80 minutes. Pegback could have lost it. It happens. It's just the narrative of how it happened, and will be 10 seasons now. 2009. Yeah, it will be. Yeah. Dear.
Right. We've got a few subjects, but let's do the tweets first, and then obviously we need to get your views on what Mick did or didn't do when the goal went in, where this kind of leaves the rivalry. So we'll come to you on that in a minute. So these are the tweets. Look, I've got pages of them. So we'll
shocker.
Yeah, shocker.
Shocker.
Let's do a few, and then Dave, I'll bring you in. But I
Yeah, go
think
on.
particularly we need to talk about this thing when the goal went in as well, don't we? Steve Sparrow, disappointing end, good first half display, deserved to get a result. Most disappointing aspect for me was the town support singing "Your football is shit." I get the frustration, but to sing that at Carrow Road is a disgrace. No wonder Mick reacts. Jack Phillips, Ipswich were good today. Norwich were very poor. Best chance of a derby win in 9 years. Maddison was the difference in the second half. Do you think needs to go? And was his F off directed towards the fans? Joe Trent, two mid-table teams as bad as each other. They won't achieve anything this season. Disappointing not to break their streak, but streaks are meaningless at the end of the day. Carl Fox, gutted we didn't come away with the win after scoring so late on. To concede in the last few seconds feels like a defeat. Reaction when we scored thinks volumes. ME will not act on it, showing the massive divide between club and supporters. Harry Ipswich, he has got to go before Cardiff. Jay Bolton, last minute heartbreak aside, fair result. +5, also fair, 6 subs, and we chopped Maddison on the last 45. That Knudsen cross at 94 was the killer. Anywhere but there. I think he totally agrees with you, Dave. Jules, really enjoyed the game, and in all a good point, but just a couple of points. Number one, where did 5 minutes injury time come from? This is why we love the opinions, isn't it? And second, the reaction from McAfee to the fans after the goal was an effing disgrace. There needs to be a big change at the club and not just Rich Cook says one word, and that says ah. A big ah. Mick Lumley, as I tweeted earlier, 2 minutes left, town go in front. I'm trying to enjoy the moment, and my feed lights up with that clip. Mick will claim he's been misunderstood, but it's too late. I don't want a man who reacts like that at a moment like that anywhere near my club. Go now. Steve, only one word for me this week, sickening. And a nice green emoji. Peter B, whether it was aimed at the ITFC fans or not, he shouldn't be shouting that out. It's embarrassing. No class. Such a contrast to Sir Bobby on his 85th birthday. Time to break up before we hurt each other anymore. Slower ball. Ben's review was spot on. Very frustrating. Can't believe Bart, who'd been our man in the match up to that point, turned around and went back towards his goal. Hanley and the ball should have ended up in the stand. Nobody reacts. And Knudsen cost us, in my view, brainless, a better ball at 1-0. Adam's got a song of the week. Let me just look in. Rosie Gaines, closer than close. I think we'll go with that one. Matt Taylor, great to meet you today. Benjamin Bloom, hi Matt. We almost had them. Chambers last minute 1-0 is one of those mystical scorelines you dream of in Derby week, and it was there in our grasp. Haven't felt this low since West Ham playoffs 2005. Nathan, Mick McAfee needs to go. No future with him. He visibly hates the fans, so I see no point in his staying. Cameron, draw is fair result. Bart to blame for the goal, but Mick to blame for the result. Better team first half should then make an attacking sub-Selena for Gleeson at half-time to continue momentum. Norwich get back in and we keep the same formation. That's a fair comment. That's a bit more detail than we got the most. Tig, he got the draw he played for. His right back change said it all. If we're happy with that, keep him. If we aren't, say goodbye. For me, the latter. They go on and on. Thank you. Sorry if you didn't get your tweet read out. I tried to do them in the order they come in, but I can see Dave's itching to come in. So what happened when the goal went in? Because and Chris Rand tweeted me as well saying, "Why didn't you go?" I didn't know any of this had happened until I finished my video.
No, he reacts, so he's celebrating. He's up with a fist pump and giving it all. And the whole bench is up, obviously going absolutely crazy. And yeah, quite clearly he said almost sort of like effing get in there. And then he looks straight across at the fans and gives it the off.
He couldn't possibly have been talking to anybody else.
No. If you see it, he is looking right. Okay, he's the other side of the pitch. Yeah, there could be. Who knows? It could be. I'm sure there wasn't, because people would have said there could be a Norwich player standing 30 yards away, out of shot. Who we don't see. Who's been giving it large through the game. I don't know, but no, he's looking straight at the fans. He's looking straight across the pitch at that. Where you are in the corner.
So let's assume, for the sake of debate, that he did do that, and it was aimed at a corner of supporters. What's your view on that?
Ben, he's come out and said it before, hasn't he? When that chant has come out, that why he has actually said this before. Why hasn't he? Why shouldn't he have the right to have a go back? This is obviously slightly different. It's been, not that it should be, but it's obviously been caught on Sky Sports. Feelings are running high between him and the fans. already? Is it a step too far? Ben, do you know what? And this will go on This will go on for days this week with tweets and everything else. Will the club say anything? He's already come out and said no, it wasn't directed at the fans. No, yeah, I was just upset that we can not upset, over exuberant that we scored, but it wasn't directed at the fans. What's going to happen? Nothing.
So,
what's your take on that?
well, we spoke.
It's almost beyond silly now. It's just getting ridiculous. And I personally think that it's now down to the club itself to come out with a statement of I don't know what really.
So we spoke on the phone on the way back, and I think I agree with what you said on the phone, and I won't say anything that you wouldn't want to be said. But I think it's got to just a ridiculous point now, and I have to say, both sides are being dicks. It is a dick move to chant in the 78th minute. Football is. What
I don't understand that is why, when it's a like for like, I can understand if on 78 he takes off Waghorn and puts on.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, let me
it's
go
like
on.
For like. I don't get it.
So, and a lot of people will argue back. No, well, I'm not a dick, and yeah, I get it, and they'll say it's been building up, and it's not just that substitution; it's been building up. But I think you're right. It's the fact that this has been allowed to happen, where both
terrible.
sides are treating the other in such a way. And I think what you said to me on the phone, literally, the only way to sort this now is some kind of Q&A where they announce that McAfee has been offered a new contract and he wants to sign it and he wants to clear the air with the fans, but they need to have some kind of civilized. That's literally the only thing. It's just got ridiculous now, hasn't it?
It's just going to get worse. It's just going to fester. All right, we've got the Norwich thing out of the way now, but it's just going to fester for the rest of the season. When are the clubs? Surely they cannot leave it till the end of the season before at least they're going to say, right, it's got to the point now, Ben. Like it or not, where the owner's got to come out and say, and say what is going to happen. What is going to happen with the manager? Is he going to be here next season? Is he not? But then is this the time to come out with it now? Is that then going to be to the detriment of where we go for the rest of the season? Probably not. We're 10 points off the playoffs. We're not going to get in the playoffs, for Christ's sake.
But Dave, what happened to revered Ipswich Town, the club with class and manners, who could possibly be letting a manager leave at the end of the year with more ill feeling? If he comes back with a different club next year to Portman Road, that is going to be utterly awful occasion. There's going to be real horrible vitriol.
Ben, it's an odd thing. Mills, like him or not, and Suffolk, he came out today and he said, look, something's got to give here. He's as we've said, he's either staying or he's going. However, he said, look, if he stays, don't forget, he's lost. Next season, we could well be looking at a potential midfield of a fit Emma Hughes, a fit Andre Dezelle, obviously Flynn Downs, who's getting, League 2, but looks like he's really playing well there. I don't necessarily think that's a bad move, by the way.
But Dave, can I cut you off? Sorry, he hasn't said that in the press conferences. He's made snarly little comments. He hasn't said, look, I'm trying my best and I've lost this guy and this guy. I don't get it. And Dave, one other point: if that goal doesn't go in, the Norwich goal, and if he didn't react how he did on the goal, I would be on here now saying that was brilliant by him to go to three at the back tactically and to sneak that win. I would be.
And Ben, I saw a couple of tweets. I saw a couple of tweets. So I'm sorry, Mrs. Nuts. I was pointing with my pen again. I got to stop there. I saw a couple of tweets immediately after we scored, and someone said, "Oh, so McAfee comes on and tells the fans to F off just after we scored." But I don't care. I love him. Between the goal going in.
Can I just make it clear when I said it's a dick move to chant that? But this is the thing. I understand that I work in a school for badly behaved children, and I've been trained to say the kid's misbehaving, I understand why you feel that way, but this is not the way to articulate yourself. And I think this applies to both Mick and the Ipswich supporters. I understand the Ipswich supporters being really pissed off with Mick, and I understand Mick being really pissed off with the Ipswich supporters. And I can see why both sides feel that way, but the way both sides and the way the club have let it deteriorate to how both sides are articulating themselves,
this is the problem.
Nonsense.
This is the problem you have now, because if he signs another contract, and we said this last week, from what I see, it's not basic economics. If he signs another contract, we're going to be very lucky to have 11,000 season tickets.
This is a guy who said in press conferences this year, "I've made my career by proving people wrong. There's nothing," and you think that. This is the kind of guy with the kind of brain makeup that what would mean more to him than, I don't know, getting some rich club promoted from the Championship would be to turn this around and say, look, you're all back now. There's 18,000 here. I told you so.
What's going to happen? This is man. Yeah, how is that going to happen? How can you see that happening? If he's still in charge, how do you see that happening? So you see it. So he's in charge. So as we just said,
I'm just saying that would be a motivation for someone with that kind of feelings, mentality.
Yeah. Well, the only way, okay. So you can sort of see that. So he signs on. So we kick off the season with 11,000 season tickets, for argument's sake, 11.5. He starts with a midfield, including Emir Hughes, Andre Dezelle, let's argument's sake, Flynn Downs, Skews sitting there. Lovely midfield. We haven't got. Love to see it. Love to see that. We win the first 5 games as we did this season. So conceivable we've done it. Do you then see, with him still in charge? Do you then see another 2,000 season ticket holders coming back? Or
no, I think this
season,
mate. This season proved that it's more than 5 games. You'd have to be,
or whatever. It's gone.
I don't know. I'm just saying that would be. Please get your tweets in, and please don't come at me for what I've just said. I understand why both sides react the way they do,
and I think what you've got to say, Ben, the football has been of a poor standard. You can't say it at times. You can't say it hasn't. Last week was shocking. I'm sorry, it was.
Dave, where does this leave the rivalry? Because I know it's more. I know I'm being a bit contentious by saying this, but they are essentially celebrating a last-minute draw against a club that they deem inferior in their home stadium.
Absolutely. That puts it in perspective, doesn't it? Absolutely right. And I think your mate on the podcast basically said, that almost feels better than the playoff win. What the hell is that about? Do you know what I mean? Just because they've kept this extended run, how many games is it now? 10, is it now?
It means more to them than they'd admit, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. And I think it showed on the pod itself. Well, you did, but anyway.
Chambers with some litany of digs in his interview saying they're not the team they were 3 years ago, and they were running around like they've won the championship after drawing with us. And he says that shows what state their club is in.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is now officially the longest run by either side. Someone will know. Stat will probably put me right on this. Without defeat, I think it's like six wins, four draws.
But Dave, can I just throw one in there?
Go on.
This game, like injury time equaliser. Last game, 1 goal in it, super tight.
It's tight.
Last season, 2 1-1 draws.
It's tight.
Playoff games are both level until the red card. Then before that, they beat us 2-0, didn't they? With a vastly superior squad.
Great goal.
Basically, the last 5 games there's been like a Rizzler paper between the two teams, and they've come out on top.
And Norwich, to be fair, would take. And I know you can't because he's their player. Take Maddison away. My goodness, there's not a lot there. There is not much there at all. That Leitner didn't even hardly register he was playing. Like the fullback, Oliveira, not really, not for me. Like the fullback, I think keeper's probably decent enough. Madison's a cut above. He is, and he'll get the move. And I'm quite sure I'll be extremely surprised if he's still there. As another game gone, all right, Bristol City ultimately dropped 2 points when they were winning, but they're still 8 points off. They got Wolves away on Wednesday, So, you've got to think perhaps by next Saturday, they're not going to get in the playoffs. So you've got to think, take Maddison out of that team. There is a big hole there, a massive hole. Good player, and seeing him today, and you made a very good point. You said how much you thought he'd matured as a player and improved as a player since the home game. And what
I would say about him is he's bought into his hype in a good way, in that he plays with a real lovely swagger. And just the speed he does everything is
lovely player, 2-footed. What I like about him, he loves to play those little tiny balls round the corner, in between the lines and stuff. Yeah, very clever football. And Ben, they won't if they stay. Well, we know how finance works. Parachute payments gone. If they stay down, which they're going to, he's out. He's gone.
Yeah, but
someone's
what are the chances Spurs will sign him and loan him back for the whole year, and we'll have to put up with him again?
Oh, stop it!
Stop it! Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, perhaps not, because Spurs are probably, going to be playing in Europe, and you'd think things like that. So probably not. But yeah, he's a cut above there today. Certainly second half, he was head and shoulders above everything else. Thought we played him really well first half, and I thought him certainly pushing forward second half perhaps negated the effect that Skew's had on him. So he was just pushing him further and further back. But look, as you said quite rightly, tactically, if we'd have held on 1-0, what a great shout. What a great shout. We would never name this team, would we? Never would we have named it.
I spoke about it. I said, he might match up. And then I stopped myself and went, nah, we'll play 4-2-3-1.
You said it this morning.
Yeah. And then I persuaded myself.
Bart, great, okay. What happened in the 95th minute side? Brilliant again. Carter
Vickers was good, wasn't he?
Outstanding.
I thought Webster took maybe 35 minutes to get kind of settled.
He's missed so much football, Ben.
I know. I'm just saying he looked.
You're right.
A bit at sea. I mean, Gleeson is a very neat technician, but obviously can't play more than an hour or 70 minutes.
Again, I think that perhaps goes back because he was frozen out by Cottrell for the last 2 months, I think.
I thought Garner was better in this game than the other. He really did make a nuisance of himself. If he's not going to get a goal or an assist or whatever. And can I just wag my finger about Waghorn, because there was a bloke 3 rows behind me whining and pissing and moaning about his deliveries. Right? Here's the deal: Martin Waghorn has got 8 assists this season, right? And basically, if you ask me, if in any one game your set piece taker assists a goal, then they're a good set piece taker. And he's done that over and again, right? And Ipswich fans need to realise that the way he takes free kicks, he puts them in with pace. So sometimes, and this is a difficult skill, I know he's a pro footballer, sometimes he will hit the first man because he's trying to put it in with pace, okay? But I'm sorry, if anyone thinks that Martin Waghorn is bad at free kicks, they're a buffoon based on his record.
His first half, his delivery was not good, Ben.
Yeah,
You've got to say
that.
But no, I'm not saying. I'm not saying.
Babylon and use the term end product all over the show. Assists galore, 8 assists. Find me.
Yeah, but you've got. On my point of view, he probably had 4, certainly 3 corners from both sides.
Which player sets up a chance with every set piece they take?
Beg pardon?
Which player sets up a chance with every set piece they take?
Well, he certainly didn't first half. I saw him take 5 and he hit the first defender every time.
Which player sets up a chance with every set play they take?
Which player? No,
which player
not
in
many.
World football?
I take the point. But you're not telling me that in the first half his dead ball kicking was awful, dreadful.
No, but I can agree with that. But let's take the 90-minute sample size.
I'm not talking about the 90 minutes. I'm talking about the first half. That's my point. I'm not talking about 90 minutes. First
over
half.
The course of the game, his set plays were successful because he got another assist. That's like saying Andy Cole's a bad striker because he misses 5 chances. That's not what I'm saying at all.
I'm saying in first half, you've got to admit his set pieces in the first half were dreadful. Every single set piece he took, he hit the first defender. You can't not. I
agree with you, but I don't care.
Second half,
I don't care if every game he sets up a goal. He can do 12 bad set plays as long as if he sets up a goal every game. That's amazing. He'll be the best set play taker in the league.
I concur with what you're saying. Mine was just an observation of his dead ball delivery in the first half was poor.
And the evidence would suggest that you were correct.
Thank you, Ben.
Over the full match, which is what we're judging.
Wasn't talking about the full match.
Okay. I still love you though, Dave.
I still love you too.
Should we move on?
Don't know. We got anything more to say?
I don't know. We've done 49 minutes and we haven't even got to the roundup yet. Yeah, it was just. I thought I'd seen everything in a derby, and I haven't seen that.
No, do you know what? You split. Let's just go back again. You spoke about the Sears thing. I personally thought the Sears Sheffield Wednesday thing, not because it was Sears, was worse than today because Knudsen had to play that. There was no way he wasn't ever going to play that ball. The Sears thing was just right. We said before was what shitstorm, wasn't it? You know who was it Wallace? I've get no Bannon, didn't he? We're going back. Connolly lost Bannon in midfield, and that was it. Today Knudsen had to play the ball. Got it wrong, but he had to play that ball. There was no way. You're right. He would have ran that in the corner. Let's move on now.
Let's move on. I think mitigating circumstances. Let's go to the roundup, Dave. Preston won, Wolves won. A rarity, a Wolves not 3-pointer, but Preston's still looking good there.
They're very good. They're well organised. We're there next. You're there next week. You going?
I'm not. No, I'm working in central London. Yeah, I'll be at the Cardiff game though. Speaking of Cardiff, they've gone back into second, Dave. That naughty little Warnock.
Can I just say about Preston? I didn't realise since we beat them in November, first game in November, I think, 4th, something like that.
Just readjusting my shirt.
Rearranging. They've lost one game in 16, which was Middlesbrough at home New Year's Day. Incredible run. Drawn a lot, but they are difficult to beat. It'll be a toughie Saturday, won't it? Toughie.
And as I said, Warnock has slid there back into second place on the heels of, not on the heels. The other way round. He's coming to visit us on.
But no one's on the
Wednesday.
heels of Wolves. No. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Morrison from a good Hoylett free kick.
Fulham, Fulham 2, Villa 0. I was there, Dave.
Talk to me.
Fulham are very fluid and play lovely football, as we know. And Villa are like Derby. They're like real kind of stiff with old pros. And the little lovely Fulham players did a number on them.
2 questions. First of all, John Terry.
Superb.
One, best centre back in the Championship. 2,
he's not better than Bolly. He's not better
enough
than
to play for England.
He's not better than Bolly because he's ridiculous. But he was a very assured football player.
One more question. Ryan Sessegnon.
Ridiculous.
Okay. Thinking back 2006, Sven-Goran Eriksson, Theo Walcott, Gareth Southgate, Ryan Sessegnon.
Didn't that ruin Walcott's career essentially?
Well, I think he did score a hat-trick against Croatia at some point after that, but yeah. Well, it's probably a bit too soon. He's not a Premier player, is he? But he will be, won't he?
On the basis he has no experience, he's obviously a natural, isn't he? It's just effortless for him, isn't it?
Just a bit about that game because you there, Villa, big miss Adoma and Grealish.
I guess so. Although you would wonder how Grealish would fit in, being they were so rigid, and he's a bit more of a Merson type, isn't he? But Fulham look good. I can see both. I see both of those two missing out.
It's interesting what you said to me though. This morning we spoke, didn't you? And you said you felt that given a match up in the playoffs, you'd have thought that Villa perhaps would have too much know-how for them to be too experienced and a bit. They're strong right through the side, Villa, aren't they?
Over 2 games, and
interesting.
Fulham have got what I call sort of Bobby Petter syndrome, where they're very, very good when they're winning. Do you know what I mean? And you wonder and that's what happened to them last year. Anyway, Dave, let's move on.
Yeah, go on.
So Derby lost in midweek, so they've dropped out of the top 2. Did you say Bristol City and Leeds drew, did they?
Yeah, Bristol did it again. Bristol City 2 up in 15 minutes, and then Lasoga and Roof on 8. Leeds could have won it at the end. So yeah, Lee Johnson looked like he'd been kicked in the nadgers, mate. He wasn't happy.
So the mistake Johnson's making is what they're doing is they're scoring their goals and then they're letting the other team score the same amount.
That's not a good system to have, is it?
Just stagger it out a bit more. And then when you finish scoring, stop the game, yeah?
But the thing is, I mean, look how tight the playoffs, in the top 6, where the top 6 are. I mean, 4 more points, so surely, in those last, all right, certainly 2 from last week, and you'd hope today 2-0 up. They're right in amongst it. I mean, now they're still there. They're still in 6th, though. I think.
Blades played in the FA Cup, so we'll go straight to Sunderland 0, Brentford 2. Depressing being a Sunderland fan, isn't it?
Coleman's interview afterwards was, "What have I done?" Almost,
Oh,
it
dear.
smacked that. Yeah.
Birmingham 0, Millwall 1. My
See,
beloved Millwall.
tell you what,
My second team. Yeah, they didn't surprise me in the slightest. They got the away win
third
there.
away when any player with the first name of Fred is all right by me. Fred on in Dinmar. Have you seen him play? Do you know much about him? Useful?
Shades of Gus Ullenbeat. Yeah, it's like if
Don't
this guy can get this together, he's unstoppable. But it's
seriously
like, well, he's just one of these, typical one of these really fast, dribbly players who,
strong.
but the manager doesn't necessarily trust to fit in a team framework. But Rangers 2, Bolton 0. They're looking all right, Rangers, aren't they?
Yeah, sort of stable a bit, aren't they? 39 points now. Yeah, Lynch, and I think it all changed. They bought our very well-spoken forward Matt and ex-Doctor Who Matt Smith on.
Wednesday, as we've already mentioned, they had a much-needed win over Derby in midweek.
Lost in a cup, didn't they?
Burton 0, Forest 0. So Burton pulling out the second 0-0 in a row. I'm sorry, I promised I'd give this guy a shout out, Dave, and I just remembered. Speaking of intelligent football players, we've been arguing about who our most intelligent listener is. I met Jordan today, who has got a master's in neuroscience from Essex Uni.
Believe him?
He was quite battered, so
he hasn't now, has he? He hasn't.
I think he has. Yeah, he gave me a solid description of his job.
He gave me
kind of slurred, quite kind of way. I think he'd had.
I still doesn't think it beats my surgeon, but it's a pretty good shout, Ben.
Well, a surgeon must have a PhD if they're a doctor, mustn't they? So PhD does beat masters. Not that either of us would know, would we? But
no. You're sure you've got a music masters, haven't you?
No, I've got.
Should have.
I've got 2-1.
You should have him podcasting, Ben. Go on, carry on.
Podcast veteran. Hull and Barnsley had the weekend off, but nobody else won, so that was good for them. Ipswich draw means they stay in 12th, do they? Or yeah.
Yeah.
Are they 13th? Did Leeds? No, Leeds got one.
No, I think Leeds won. We're 12th. Norwich 13th. Leeds drew. So won. Leeds drew. So we were in 11th for 2 hours, 3 hours.
45 points, 1.406 projection, 64.68. The minutes aren't going to change now, so your top 5 are Bart, Knudsen, Chambers, Garner, Skews. Goals, 10 for Waghorn, 10 for Garner, 8 for Selina, 8 for McGoldrick. Assists, that terrible set piece taker, Martin Waghorn with 8 assists. Jonas Knudsen, he unfortunately, Dave, only still has 7 assists.
Rubbish first half.
Ward and McGoldrick. So Ward 5 assists, McGoldrick 4. Now we thought Statman had messed up and thought that today was Saturday and he had another day to get his stat in. But as your phone bleeped Graham Blackburn style during the show, we've got
Sorry,
it here.
Just quickly talking about Graham Blackburn. Did you encounter said Graham Blackburn today? Was he intoxicated or?
I don't know. He probably ended up in Cambridge or something at 11:30 or something, didn't he? Without a shoe missing.
And I felt sorry for him this week. His guest on the Naked Footy show didn't turn up.
More on that in a minute when you do the plugs, Dave.
Yeah, I know.
So this is Statman and his stat of the week, which we're not going to sidetrack this week, are we, Dave? Easy, lads. Apology for a rather short instalment of stat of the week. Please do not swear at me. So forgetting today's result, let's look forward to next game. What is Mick McAfee's record in the game following an East Anglian Derby?
Oh.
Played 7, won 2, drawn 3, lost 2, 4-9 against 10. Nothing spectacular at all. A bit like this weekend. In fact, I predict another 1-1 draw for Town on Wednesday. Wednesday's game will be the first since 2011 that Ipswich have played away on a Sunday, followed by a home game on a Wednesday. We beat Arsenal in the League Cup semi-final, first leg, one of those games. How the mighty have fallen. Peace out. Stat. Dave, we're going to go to the Nasdaq, where you can follow James, who puts 2 little bets, not 2 little ducks, 2 little bets every week on. Both for £5. One has to be on Ipswich, one has to be on the Championship generally. You can follow James at JamesDack_. 99. You feeling good, Dave?
Yep.
Well,
Positive.
he bet on an Ipswich player to be booked today, so he's in good. He bet on Callum Connolly to get a yellow card, which
Oh, good
did
man. Yep.
happen. Yeah, he went. I think he deliberately
Madison,
chose
wasn't
a Scouser. Yeah, all the
it? Yep.
fouls were on Blooming Madison, weren't they? Except
True.
Waghorn got booked for one on Closer and Spence
Yep.
got booked one on Lewis. Yeah, I'm talking crap, aren't
You
I?
are.
He also had poor James Ipswich to win 1-0.
Oh, no.
Poor everybody today. So Nasdaq nearly cleaned up, but the Nasdaq is up courtesy of a naughty Scouser and his naughty tackling. So well done, James. Give him a follow. Nasdaq's up.
Well done, James.
When we get to the end of the season, I wonder what we can do. How much is a kid's season ticket at Portman Road?
Well, you used to certain parts of the ground in a family enclosure. You used to get it for like a tenner, couldn't you? I'm not sure you can do that anymore. I don't know.
Wonder if we can buy a
100
child
quid?
a season ticket with the Nasdaq money.
What a
Yeah.
nice
But they
touch.
presumably have to have an adult accompanying them, though, don't they?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But hey, if we can pay for someone's kid, that might encourage the adult to.
Yeah, right. Come on, James, you can do it. You can do it.
Go on, James.
We're going to Two Little Ducks, Dave, everybody's favourite game, where one or other of us has to name as many of the starting 22 players from a game in Ipswich Town's history. As I always pointed out at this this point in the podcast, Dave hosts a podcast called This Week in Ipswich Town History and has a clear advantage. He's seen 9,000 Ipswich games, and I haven't.
Yeah, and the week before last, I got one.
What did you get last time? It was Ipswich and Liverpool, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think I get 8.
Who was your goose?
I was goosed by John Barnes, who
Ooh.
I did say I thought played in the first game, and I was wrong with that. I don't know who I was thinking of. Probably Rush. Right, I was wrong on both counts. Anyway,
Lovely goal.
I think I got 8.
So
You're still winning. You got week before that. Did you not get 13?
I got 13, although you gave me Patrick Van Arnholt when
I'm giving you nothing today, but because when you came on, your sad little face, obviously you were there today. I thought I had 2 games in mind.
Okay.
And I'm going to give you a little bit of an easy ride, Ben. We're going back to the very first game of 5th of August 2017. Ipswich 1, Birmingham City 0.
Wow. Okay.
So while you're doing that, while you're getting your brain in gear, I will do the plugs.
Go ahead.
You ready?
Yeah.
I'm off. So thanks for tuning into the Blue Monday podcast. This is a flagship show which is available on video and audio. You can catch myself and Statman every Wednesday with This Week in ITFC History, which we are recording tomorrow evening, the next batch of shows. It's an audio show, and Ben's preview shows on Friday on video and also audio. So subscribe to the audio feed, just type Blue Monday Podcast into whatever app you use and you'll find us. For our video content, type in Blue Monday Network into YouTube, where you'll also find our match reviews and our collaborations with Ipswich, including Marcus Stewart top 10 goals and Ipswich Norwich from this week, who is a bigger club. Excellent. Rich is very, very talented. You can follow our brand on Twitter at Blue Monday ITFC, where you can find details of how to support the show by purchasing a very splendid T-shirt. And each of us you can contact individually at David Diamond 3. The Statman you can reach at ChompX. It's at Ipswich and at Benjamin Bloom. If all that isn't enough, Ben will be on the Naked Footy show, and he will show up, unlike poor old Graham's guest last week, with GB before the Cardiff game on Wednesday. Traffic permitting. I know last time he was there, he was about 10 minutes late, Ben, but I'm sure you'll make it in good time this week. And I don't know if I mentioned to you, but good old Pat, bless him. I'm in the old DB on Wednesday evening, so I'll quite enjoy that. The old director's box. Quite look forward to that one, mate.
Okay.
Prawn sandwiches galore flying around.
Roy Keane would be proud.
He would be proud. So BG, sorry, who's that? BB, come on.
Okay, so we said it was 3-5-2, didn't we?
I didn't say anything.
Already
I
in
didn't
the
give
pod. What was the score? What was the score?
No, we said in the show. You're right, we did.
What was the score in this game?
What's the score?
Yeah, what was the score in the Ipswich Birmingham
I'll give
game?
you it was 1-0.
1-0, okay.
You know that.
Right, you ready? Joe Garner.
I'm expecting to beat that Palace score. Carry on.
Joe Garner.
Joe Garner, yeah.
Andre Dazelle.
Yeah.
Jonas Knudsen.
Yeah.
Bartosz Bielkowski.
Oh, he's gone for the. This is good. This is good from Ben. Gone for the surefire winners.
Luke Chambers.
Who?
Luke Chambers.
Luke Chambers. Yeah. Luke Chambers there.
Cole Skews.
Yeah.
Who played up front with Garner then? Because Waghorn wasn't signed by then. I wonder, would it have been Sears? And who else played in midfield? Michael Morrison.
Yep. Always want to call him Mark Morrison.
Che Adams.
Yeah. This is good. This is good.
Who's that huge, great midfielder they've got?
No clues.
They had another good centre half as well that they signed from Brentford, didn't they?
No. I'll give it 2. No, he wasn't very good, and no, they didn't sign him from Brentford. But anyway.
Freddie Sears.
Freddie Sears is there.
Thank God for that. That's 9, yeah?
Yeah.
Would Jutkovic have started? Who was the guy that they had that played for Middlesbrough who scored?
I'm not giving you any more.
Oh, God. I suck at Birmingham players. Harley Dean. Wow. Who are the other Ipswich players?
Iorfa.
Crap. No,
Spence.
not he's crap. It's me crap for not getting that.
Spence.
Of course, play at the back. So Spence played centre half, didn't he?
Tommy Smith.
Adam Webster.
Grant
No.
Ward.
Oh, I would have. Yeah, I wouldn't have got Smith.
Bielkowski, Iorfa, Spence, Chambers, Smith, Knudsen, Ward, Skews, Dazelle, Sears, Garner.
Did Jutkovic play?
No. I think he came on a sub. Not sure. Stockdale, Grounds.
Grounds. That was who I was thinking.
Ensue, were you thinking of Ensue, the marauding?
No.
Martin Roberts was the centre back you're thinking of.
From
From
Barnsley.
Barnsley.
Great player. Yeah.
Jack McGoma. Is that what you're thinking
Yeah,
of?
it was
Jack
a big guy,
McGoma.
wasn't it?
Gardner.
You
Endoy.
like him, don't you?
Davis. And Clayton Donaldson.
Clayton Donaldson. He plays for Sheffield United now. Well, I get 9.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 9. It's tricky, isn't it?
Yeah.
Tricky.
Not very good at Birmingham players. Okay, well, Dave will be back next week. Let us know on Twitter if you beat me on that. If you've got any Birmingham affiliations, you probably would have. In amongst all the Derby Day stuff, Dave, we've forgotten how hard this week is because there's Cardiff on Wednesday and Preston on...
it's games galore, mate. Yeah.
What's going to happen?
Well, you went to Cardiff, didn't you? I'll just do a bit. You outplayed in that first game, really, weren't we? 3-1.
And I saw Cardiff at Millwall last week, but...
Did they draw?
1-1. But they may play 3 at the back. So Mick may stick with our 3 at the back.
Well, yesterday,
also.
I mean, just quickly in the window, they had that run over Christmas. They lost 4 on a spin, didn't they? I think they signed well in the window. They got Gary Medine, 6 million, big signing. Jamie Ward, who is quite likely they swap with Tomlin. Armand Traore, who was on a free from Forest, and of course, Yannick Wilshere on loan from Norwich. So yesterday they started Everidge in goal. Looked like 4-3-3. Don't know. Manor, Morrison, Bamba, Bennett, Patterson, who's been chipping in with a few goals, Grosjetz and Rawls, Hoyler, who's been on fire lately, Zahor and Traore.
They've got a lot of power in the kind of front 6 positions. I think he rotates them around quite a lot as well.
Mendes, Lang, Vilshot, Pilkington, all on the bench. Hoyler's playing when he's having a good season. I didn't realise quite how so good. 10 goals, 8 assists, very good.
Exactly the same as Maddison, isn't it?
Yeah, and same as Waghorn.
Yes, 10 goals, 8 assists. There you go. Martin Waghorn's stats exactly the same as James Maddison's. What a player! Yeah,
so I tend to agree with Stat on that one. 1-1. I can see that. And then Preston away, 2 difficult games. I mean, Preston away, we just said, just 1 loss in 16 since we beat them back in November. He's doing well, Neil, isn't he? He's doing well.
Can I make a prediction involving wonderful loan players? That 2 games ago at Preston, Ryan Fraser scored a stupid goal. Last game at Preston, Tom Lawrence scored a stupid goal. Bersant Selina. Get your money on him, James Nasdaq, to score any time.
Good linkage.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I mean, they got a pot of gold, didn't they? They got sold Hugo for 10 million. 10 million to West Ham in the window, where we quoted apparently 2 million this time last year. So he's come on well, hasn't he? He's still their top scorer, 10, 1 assist. Yesterday,
my troubles seem
Fisher,
so
again, some of these players don't mean anything. Rudd, Fisher, Huntington, who's quite solid. Davis, Earl, left back. Duke of Earl. Duke, anyway. Welsh, who got sent off. Johnson, who we like. Johnson. Daniel,
who's that centre midfielder who was good in the home game?
Wasn't there yesterday.
Yeah.
Wasn't there. Again, 4-2-3-1. Bodin, Brown, who's been scoring goals. Barkhausen, who we quite like, and Robinson up front. So he's done well. They've done really well, haven't they? They're only 2 points outside the 3 now, I suppose, with Bristol City. 3 points outside the playoffs. So having a great season. That'll be tough, but good linkage. I like that. Maybe Connolly or Selina. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Have we got over this game today then, Dave?
Yeah, I think so. Haven't we? Have we cleansed ourselves of it? Yo, you might not be though. You might be having another run at it tomorrow, mightn't you?
Oh God, yeah.
You can't, can you?
The gap closes next year, and I think you're right, Dave. If next year you take out Maddison from that team and you add Hughes to our team, or Dazelle, or Downs, or Adeyemi,
you got to be excited, but will that? Keep banging on about it. If he's still in charge, will that be enough to get the fans back? I'm not so sure. I think it's just gone too far, Ben. I really do.
So much to talk about. Thank you, everybody. This week, since the podcast and the YouTube began, we have done more views, more downloads. I know it's Derby week, but with Rich's extra content and my appearance elsewhere, we've done a staggering amount of traffic online. So thank you, everybody who's watched a video, liked something, downloaded a podcast, commented, etc., etc. Please, as usual, get your comments in on YouTube and on Twitter, whether you agree with us, whether you disagree with us. We love to hear
emailed
from you.
me the next batch of games for this week in ITFC history, and there are some corkers coming up. So
when is that going to become a video feature? When do we get to see your lovely faces on that?
I don't know. I'm cool with it. I don't think Stat wants to identify himself, does he?
He might have to wear some kind of mask.
Stat disguise.
Yeah, there is some money in the float for a camera though now, isn't there?
Ben, I'll go on. Do it. I just want to see Stat with a Stat wig and glasses and stuff.
Right, I need to forget about football till Wednesday.
Just
Dave,
forget it, mate. You must be footballed out. How many games do you think you'll end up seeing this season?
Probably less than some people. I've missed a few Ipswich games, haven't I? I didn't go to Burton or Middlesbrough.
Not many.
I'm going to miss Preston as well. But then I've seen 4 or 5 others. Yeah, probably fair.
We'll perhaps talk. I'll see Stat tomorrow. We're having just a general chat now, but we're going to have an out into Bristol City, aren't we? I think. All being well.
We'll have a look for. Yeah, that's a good point. Send us a tweet if you want to join the fun out into.
Fun bus. No, it's not a bus. I don't know. We'll work out how we get there. All right, mate. Good stuff. And if you do go on tomorrow, have another good one. I think you can hold your head up. I mean, as you say, they celebrated last minute draw like it was promotion, didn't they?
And on that note, Dave, I'm going to hang up the Skype call and we're going to see everybody next week, and you can see Dave and Statman on Wednesday.
Cheers, guys.
Goodbye.
Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.